That's fine.
Greetings from RCHE. Welcome to the episode 1 of Podcast with RCHE. I'm Protractor Ria, the ISD at RCHE, and today we have a very special guest with us, Aarav, the founder of Nuttiez, a platform dedicated in helping students exploring robotics and much more. Aarav, give us your introduction so our viewers could know more about you.
Sure. Hi, Ria. Hope you're doing good. Thanks for having me here, firstly. So I'm Aarav, as you told a little about me. I've just completed my 12th grade. Trying to get into college right now. Along with that, I've been working a lot around technology since the past 5 to 6 years. So, like, I actually started with building things myself. Like, I built robots. I started coding when I was around 10 years old. So, what happened is I was introduced to programming for the first time in school. And until then, like, we were taught very basics in technology, things like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and all of that. So when we were kind of introduced to programming in my fifth grade, it was really exciting. And I was really pumped up. But then like they only teach you the very basics. So I kind of went down the path of self-learning because all my parents too are not from a tech background. And even in school, like again, they just teach you a very limited curriculum, right? So you barely get anything out of it. So, but I was very curious, so I kind of wanted to go down that rabbit hole and explored a lot about programming. And that's when I stumbled upon robotics and kind of built my first robot at that time. Then I started building robots, most of which I was doing, by watching YouTube videos or reading articles on the internet. And in around 2018, when I was around 12 years old, that's when I kind of thought, I kind of started to understand the gaps that were there in the content that I was consuming myself. So, and I had built a couple of robots by that time. I had basic knowledge in, robotics and coding, etc. So I wanted to kind of give back my knowledge, keeping in mind the gaps that I had figured out when I was on the journey of learning myself, right? So I did that and I opened up a YouTube channel with the same name, Nuttiez. And I posted a video on how to build a line follower robot. And so my video started taking off. That video, which I posted, one of my first videos, it has over 100K views today. So it started getting a lot of traction in its initial days of me posting it. And that kind of, motivated me to kind of keep going and create more and more content. And so I was doing that. I was posting videos. I was even writing. I was getting my articles published in various international magazines, etc. And in 2021, I realized that to kind of reach a larger audience with the same mission, which is educating the youth on new age technologies, which is robotics, AI, machine learning. I mean things beyond coding, right? Teaching the youth those things was really crucial, and we were doing that. But I figured out that a YouTube channel will kind of not be enough to scale the way I wanted to.
That's
So for
what
that, I
includes
yeah. So for
that.
that reason, yep. So I developed an app with the same name. I kept the name going, brand name going, Nutties, and I registered it as an official startup in 2021.
That's
And Thank you. And that's when we kind of expanded, as I told you, we with the app, we had a lot more than just content. So obviously, the main motive was for people to get access to a lot of content through the articles that we had in our app, which are interns and many of which were written by me as well. And then we had videos in the app. But along with that, along with just learning, we also introduced things like quizzes, competitions, and a lot of interactive features in the app. So even after like playing a certain number of quizzes, people would accumulate certain points, which we named T-Bucks, and they could redeem those for, rewards from our brand partners. We had partnered up with brands like Boat, the Soul Store, Akudo, Wendy's, Rapido, etc. So the users, which is obviously teenagers, so teens love these brands, right? So they were firstly learning about technology, then they were applying that or testing that, testing what they had learned through quizzes, competitions, and all of that, while also keeping the fun element there in it. And along with that, they were being incentivized for learning. So we are trying to create this ecosystem for teenagers who are in their high school or maybe in their college years to get exposed to the technologies that are going to rule the next few decades.
That's great. That's really great. So, is it correct
Thank
that
you.
you made your first robot when you were what, in first grade or something?
I was in my fifth grade at that time.
Great.
You don't even understand English in first grade.
Yeah,
So
that's uh, my
I
bad.
was in my fifth grade. I was
Shouldn't
10
wreck
years
you
old. So
weekend.
as I told you,
Sorry to cut you
yeah,
off.
so like I was introduced to Yeah, I was introduced to programming in that very year. And then when I was kind of exploring, as I told you, I went to YouTube and started watching a lot of tutorials. So we have this little neat recommended section there with
That's really great. What was the inspiration behind the name, the app name?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea. Like as I told you, when I started it, I did it as a YouTube channel. So I did it in my seventh grade, which is around like I think 5 to 6 years back. I
Mm-hmm.
just knew that I had to have tech in it because obviously that will may make things very clear. I don't know why I actually came up with the entire name, Tech Nutties. It's probably so. I think one theory that I had in mind was that so if you're nuts, it means you're mad about something, right? So it
Right.
kind of means being mad about tech. So this is a theory I came up with recently when people started asking me why was the name actually that. And I can actually claim that I just kept the name because of this reason. But to be honest, I don't remember why I actually chose it like in a very abstract way. But I think this could be a very good explanation to it.
Mhm.
That people who are on the app, people like us who are actually a part of building the app, and people who are accessing our content as users, all of us are kind of mad about technology, right? So that is maybe one explanation to the name of our app, I guess.
Now, fair enough. It does make sense.
And it's fine.
That's some great information we have today. Like, like what could you suggest, last question, like to our you viewers, like who, because robotics or this technology is a bit hard, because consistency is important, right, in this field. So what can you suggest,
Mhm.
some few words in, to maintain those that consistency?
So I think it's firstly about like actually realizing if you are interested in robotics and all of these technologies. Like it's not that tech is meant for everybody, right? Like a lot of people nowadays just come on to tech because it's trending or because everybody's talking about it. But if you're genuinely not interested in technology or robotics or anything for that matter, you'll not be able to be consistent in that because you'll just be forcing yourself to work in that particular area of interest, right? So I think it is firstly about figuring out if you're interested. And if you are interested in it, there is in anything for that matter, there is so much information today on the internet in fact, for absolute free of cost that it is just your passion and willpower that will be a test. Apart from that, if you have that, I think nothing stopping anybody from learning anything today, right? Because information has become so liquid right now because of so much, a lot of social media platforms that we have, so many websites posting thousands and thousands of blog articles around every single topic that there is to exist. We have platforms like Chat GPT right now,
Yeah,
which will answer every question that you have anyway.
that's amazing.
So I just had to throw in this word to make the podcast trending also. And I think, yeah, I mean, if you have to learn anything about anything, it's kind of there on the internet. So it's more about you learning that and then using it to the best of your abilities to, maybe productize it and make it real.
I
That's what it is about.
see. That's a great answer. Like, we have to close our session in few. Thank you so much for joining, Arav. Like, our viewers got.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. It was great to talk to you and know more about robotics. Like, I'm a student too, so it was great learning more about it. Thank you, and we'll see you super soon, hopefully. Thank you for joining, Arav. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day, Priya. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a great day. You too.